Last time out, Buddy Simpson raced round the streets of Sochi. It didn't go to plan. Lights out and away we go, and we get a decent launch off the line. You can see he's behind Danny Kvyat, who he's able to dive down the inside of, which brings out the safety car. Bottas ahead. As you can see, he's going very slowly, he's weaving around, and we hit the back of him, and we've lost part of our wing. But on lap 48, disaster struck.
Buddy, are you okay?
I think so. The steering column broke, couldn't do anything.
Buddy was shaken, but unharmed. That wasn't the end of his trepidation. After the race, things got very complicated.
Greetings, future IndyCar champion. I've got some great news.
What, Dad?
You have been signed up for the Indy 500 for Andretti Autosport.
Yay! That is really good. It really means the world to me.
I am so excited for you. Make sure you do your best, right?
Yeah. I'll do my best.
Get ready for Simpson to rule the IndyCar world.
Stupid IndyCar. My dad's so obsessed. Hello?
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, my dad has just signed me up for the Indy 500.
Oh, that controlling freak. He will be furious if you don't race. Race in Monaco and then rush off to Indy.
Yeah, I like the sound of that idea. F1 takes priority, and he's going to have to deal with it. Thanks, bye. For Buddy, this was a huge concern. But it's now time for him to head to the Circuit de Catalunya for the first race of the European season. Well, what's up guys, it is Matty Gaming HD here, back here with the 5th episode of the Buddy Simpson career mode, where after a difficult race in Sochi and also some altercations with his dad regarding the Indy 500, he is keen to have a good race to prove as Simpson does belong in Formula 1. Practice went as planned, so without further ado, it's time for the qualifying report. With rain on the horizon, qualifying for the first European race this season was set to be an interesting one. It was a miserable session for Sauber as they locked out the back row. Pascal Wehrlein put in a fantastic performance to get into Q2, whilst Nico Hülkenberg was devastated with 20th on the grid. The two Renaults locked out the 9th row. Toro Rosso had a very lacklustre qualifying with 13th and 15th, whilst Valtteri Bottas failed to make Q3. Haas impressed with 9th and 11th. Both McLarens made it into Q3 for the first time since reuniting with Honda. The two Ferraris locked out the 3rd row, just behind the two Red Bulls who locked out the 2nd row, with Ricciardo leading the charge. Whilst it was Nico Rosberg who once again took pole position, edging out Lewis Hamilton by a 10th. So taking a look at the starting grid then, and it was the two Mercedes led by Rosberg leading the two Red Bulls led by Ricciardo. Followed by the two Ferraris led by Vettel, with Massa in 7th, Alonso in 8th of his home race. Grosjean was pleased in 9th, head of Button in 10th, Simpson in 11th, Perez in 12th. Sainz in 13th, head of a disappointed Bottas, Kvyat with Wehrlein pleased with 16th. Magnussen and Palmer locked out row 9, head of Haryanto, a devastated Hülkenberg, Nasser and Ericsson.
What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91, or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Anthony Davidson is here with me today. Together we'll be taking you through all the action of this Spanish Grand Prix. It can be hard for the cars to follow each other closely here due to the dirty air coming off the car in front. So perhaps we're looking at a more strategic Grand Prix, Ant. What do you think on that?
I'm not too sure about that, Crofty. I mean, yes, as you say, it's hard to follow around here, but if you're brave on the brakes, you can get the job done down into turn 1, which is a medium-speed corner, so you have to be committed. And looking down at this grid today, I think we're going to see 1 or 2 drivers making a move from a long way back, maybe try to force their opponent into a mistake. I don't think this is a race that's going to be purely decided in the pit stops.
So, here is Buddy Simpson on the grid here at the Circuit de Catalunya. It's the first European race of the season. Here, as you can see, he's about to get going for the formation lap. So they get off the line now. Good qualifying that Buddy had, his second best of the season. Good way to start the European season with a good qualifying. It's going to be interesting to see how this race goes for him. As here he is about to line up on the grid in Catalonia. So he gets into his grid position. Here we go. We have the lights in Catalonia. Lights out, away we go. And Buddy gets a reasonable launch off the line. And he gets a better start than Jenson Button ahead. Obviously with a much more powerful engine than the McLaren Honda. But he has to brake early in order to avoid his teammate going into the first corner. As they head into turn 3, he's going to try and hold it round the outside of Jenson Button. But he can't quite do it. Now heading up towards turn 3, he's unable to have a look down the inside, but with a good exit, he could possibly have a look going into turn 5. He can't quite do it though. Now ending lap 1, as you can see, he's having to defend from Sergio Perez, who tries to get round the outside, but Buddy stands his ground and defends the position. Buddy would then latch onto the train, but he couldn't make a move on Jenson Button, which was backing him in to the Force India of Sergio Perez. Sure enough, he'd then lose the train, and Perez would find a way through down the main straight with the use of DRS as our tyres started to fade. And Valtteri Bottas then managed to get through as well. Carlos Sainz Jr. was now attacking us, and he would eventually find a way through with the aid of Hamilton, who had pitted. But then Danny Kvyat stopped with an engine failure. So the safety car then gets deployed, but then Carlos Sainz completely brake checks us going into the chicane. And Buddy was not happy.
You kidding me? These guys just want to crash, don't they? I just got completely brake checked. Front wings damage again.
Okay, buddy. We were going to box anyway, so don't worry. Box this lap.
So, Buddy Simpson did pit at the end of that lap. It would extend his stop, but it's a safety car period, so hopefully it won't cost him too much. I mean, it really wasn't on for Carlos Sainz to go brake checking like that. As you can see, there's a slight delay because Grosjean, our teammate, had just pitted. So, there's a delay. We switched to the hards because we want to go long into the race. So now, safety car is in this lap. As you can see, Buddy doesn't get the best restart in the world. but he's going to try to get past the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. He has lost out due to this, but the Force India of Nico Hulkenberg just drafts past going into turn 1, obviously with the power of that Mercedes engine. But we are going to try to get round the outside going into turn 3. There's a yellow flag ahead, but we get the drive off of turn 3. The yellow flags have gone in now. We're going to try and get back down the inside. They're all slowing, but Rosberg is there, and we've hit the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson.
Oh, suspension's destroyed. Could do nothing there. Had to take avoiding action.
Okay, Buddy, turn it off. You drove well today. Unlucky.
So as you can see there, Buddy Simpson was on the inside of Hulkenberg. The yellow flags have gone in at this point, so he moves up the inside. Everyone tries to take avoiding action, including him, and then he clips the Sauber. Here's how Rosberg spun. He gets tapped by the Red Bull, taps the wall, and then stops on the track. And then Buddy tries to take avoiding action, then clips Marcus Ericsson. Now looking at it from another angle, as you can see here, he could do absolutely nothing about it. And he's out of the race. So a race that could have been good for Buddy is now over for him. And that's a shame. He could have got some points there. As you can see, here you can see Maurizio Arriva Bene celebrating a win for Ferrari. Ferrari looking very good. And it is Kimi Raikkonen who takes his first win since 2013 in Australia. And it was a very disappointing day for Buddy, obviously, because he was hoping to make an impression, but unfortunately he gets no points because of a crash that really was not his fault. He had to take avoiding action and then got collected by Marcus Ericsson. So as you can see, no Mercedes on the podium. Obviously Rosberg had a spin, which is what caused the end of our race. But Ferrari, Red Bull on the podium. Hamilton was 4th. Rosberg fought his way up into 6th. So it seems like it was an interesting race. Grosjean didn't manage to get any points, and as you can see, Buddy and Kvyat were the race's 2 retirements. So now taking a look at the drivers' standings, and as you can see, Nico Rosberg is leading the way. Romain Grosjean, who's our teammate, is currently in 12th, whilst we're down in 16th, the last out of the point scorers. We're going to need to improve, so it's not really been the best start to the year apart from in China. That was a good race for us. Now moving on to the constructors standing, and you can see Mercedes are leading and Haas are in 8th at the moment on 16 points. Anyway, that is it for the 5th instalment. We'll see you next time for the 6th instalment of the Buddy Simpson Career Mode, where Buddy Simpson proves a Simpson does belong in Formula 1.